Picture two people, same age, same city, same salary. 10 years later, one is rich, free, relaxed. The other is still chasing the end of the month, and yet they earned exactly the same. So what changed? We like to believe the rich are rich because of a big salary, but that's almost never the case. The real difference isn't how much you earn, it's what you do with what you earn. And that starts in the head. They got lucky. They inherited it. Sometimes that's true, but study after study shows the same thing. Most millionaires built it themselves. Luck opens a door, but it doesn't keep you rich, because we all know stories of lottery winners broke within a few years, and of people who started with nothing and became wealthy. The real divide between them isn't the money received, it's the way you think about money, and that can be learned. For most people, money is an emotion. It reassures, it scares, it comforts. For the rich, money is a tool, cold, logical, in service of a goal. That single difference in how you see it changes absolutely everything that follows. Here's the first secret, the most important of them all. The rich buy assets. Everyone else buys liabilities, believing they're assets. That one confusion, all by itself, separates those who grow wealthy from those who stay stuck. An asset is simple. It's something that puts money in your pocket, an investment that pays, a share of a business, something that works for you even while you sleep. The more of them you own, the more money flows toward you. A liability is the opposite. It takes money out of your pocket. The car that loses value, the latest gadget, the forgotten subscription, it gives you nothing back. It costs you. And most people spend their lives collecting them. And here's the big trap. So many people want to look rich. Big car, shiny watch, designer bag. But looking rich and being rich are two opposite things. One empties your account, the other fills it. The truly rich are often invisible. Ordinary car, simple clothes, but a huge portfolio of assets behind them. While others spend to look rich, they spend to actually become rich. The difference doesn't show, it adds up. Second secret, and Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest. The idea that your money earns money, which then earns more money. A snowball that grows on its own, again and again. At first, it's laughable. A few coins earning a few more. But over time, the curve takes off. Small amounts become fortunes. Not because they were big, but because they were given time to grow. And that's the real fuel. Time. The rich understand it early. Every year that passes without investing is a snowball you never rolled. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best is today. Here's the uncomfortable part. Someone who invests a little, but early, often ends up richer than someone who invests a lot, but late. Time does more of the work than the money itself. It's not about the amount, it's about patience. Hand a bill to two people. The first sees something to spend. The second sees a seed to plant. 10 years later, the first has a memory. The second has a tree. Same bill. Two destinies. Third secret. The rich make their money work, not just their body. Most people trade their time for a salary. The rich, instead, build things that pay even when they do nothing, because a salary has a ceiling. There are only 24 hours in a day, and you can only sell your time once. As long as your only income comes from your hours, you'll always be limited by the clock. Assets don't have that ceiling. A share of a business can pay you while you sleep, while you travel, while you live. That's the difference between renting out your time and owning something that produces without you. Fourth secret, and it's psychological, how you handle fear. Running short on money creates powerful stress, and that stress pushes the brain to make exactly the wrong choices. When you're short, the brain switches to survival mode. It thinks about now, not tomorrow. It looks for immediate relief. It's human, it's normal, but it's also what keeps people stuck. Researchers have a name for it, the scarcity effect. When you're obsessed with lack, the brain narrows, like tunnel vision. You see today's problem, never the 10-year plan. Poverty steals your attention. The rich, meanwhile, often have the luxury of thinking differently. Where one sees danger, the other sees opportunity. It's not that they're braver, it's that their head isn't screaming survive at every decision. Fifth secret, patience. Building wealth is slow, painfully slow. For years, almost nothing happens, and that's exactly where most people give up. Remember the marshmallow experiment? Waiting to get 2 treats instead of 1. Wealth is that same test, but stretched across an entire lifetime. Giving up a small pleasure now for a much bigger one later. The problem is that spending gives an instant hit of pleasure. Investing, on the other hand, is boring. You see nothing for years. The brain almost always prefers the small joy right now to the big reward far away. Sixth secret, and it's sneaky. When income goes up, most people raise their spending at the same pace. Bigger salary, bigger car, bigger rent, and in the end, still nothing left at the end of the month. They call it lifestyle inflation. You earn more, but you feel just as broke as before because your spending climbed with your income. It's a race with no finish line. The faster you run, the further it moves away. The rich do the opposite. When their income rises, they keep their spending flat and invest the difference. That gap between what you earn and what you spend is exactly the fuel for the snowball. Seventh secret, knowledge. The rich understand the rules of the money game, how it grows, how tax works, how inflation eats away at it. Not through genius, simply because they took the time to learn. And here's the unfairness. School teaches us 1,000 things, but almost never how money works. We step into life playing a game whose rules no one ever explained. No wonder so many people lose. There's a saying, harsh but true: money moves from those who don't understand it to those who do. Every rule you ignore, someone else is using. The good news is that these rules can be learned for free. Eighth secret, the network. In wealthy circles, information flows, the good opportunities, the advice, the doors that open. Wealth isn't passed down only in money. It's passed down in knowledge and contacts too. A child who grows up surrounded by people who invest learns that language without even noticing. Another will have to discover it all alone years later. It's not a question of intelligence, it's a question of environment. And let's be honest here. It's not all just a matter of mindset. There are real barriers. We don't all start from the same line. Pretending otherwise would be dishonest. The system isn't fair, and that needs to be said. But here's the useful part. There's what you don't control: your birth, your luck, the system. And there's what you do control: your habits, what you learn, what you do with every dollar. Focus on that, because your behavior is the one lever no one can take from you. You don't always choose how much you earn, but you almost always choose what you do with it. And over the long run, that choice weighs enormously. And the beautiful part is that it's not only the dollars that compound, habits do too. One small decision repeated 1,000 times becomes a destiny. Learn a little, save a little, invest a little. Every day, it adds up. So the real secret of the rich isn't some magic formula. It's a boring, slow, accessible system. Spend less than you earn, buy assets, and let time do its work. No gamble, no lucky break. You don't need to be rich to start. You need to start to become rich. Spend a little less than you earn. Set that gap aside. Buy your first small asset. And above all, be patient. Deep down, wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about what you do with it. The rich stay rich because they understood the rules, and you can learn them too. The snowball is waiting. Roll it today.